Well, this is Cardo's media. And yeah, don't blame the messenger. Yeah.
You early morning breakfast session with your boy Fido and boy
Man,
Cardos. Long time, long time coming. Please don't blame the messengers as we out here trying to elevate and bring out important information to you as it comes across our desks. Fido, what going on?
yes, man. I them, man. It's been a long time. Look at the boy. You know, also like boss for you know this scene already. But then, yeah,
People say we
we have to
forget
do
about
something
them,
today.
yo.
No way.
The people say we forget about them, yo.
We can forget about them, you know, but at the same time, we have to do some. We have to take care of ourselves too.
Yeah, man.
What kind of what really going on there in the place there? Tell me.
Boy, a lot is going on in the place. A lot. We have wars and
Okay.
rumors of wars going on in Iran and Israel. We have Nasio Fontaine getting hemmed up by the police, which is not a joke, which is serious matters in Dominica. We have
Yeah.
accused or alleged murderers getting released in Dominica. We also have child molesters also getting released in Dominica. We have so many things going on in this world and in our country and in CARICOM. We have Jamaican, we have Guyana, Cuban doctors back to Cuba. They are aligning themselves more with the US. So we have a lot of things that is taking place in our region and in our world today that we have to come back on the scene again to educate the people and
Yeah, man.
tell them
The people
where
are
our
there,
stance
boy.
is, how we feel, and what is going on, you know? You know?
I understand that, man.
So
I understand, man.
it's it's an early morning. So I want to kick it off with the war in Iran and between Israel, the US, and Iran. What is taking place over there? My personal opinion on such activity is that I don't like it. That is my opinion. I think that if there was a threat of what they call that nuclear activity in Iran, these people are under a certain, there's a committee that governs that. Or you make a day break there, man. Yeah, man, Cliff, we make a day break early this morning, man. What's going on, my
Yep.
brother?
Morning, man. Done already.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir. Jonas, good morning. Good morning. Long time coming. So I just believe every country has the right to defend themselves. If China can have it, if Russia can have it, if America can have it, why can't Iran have it? That's my opinion on it. And I don't really have much more to say on that because I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it. But it
you see,
looks. Mhm.
that is an excuse. That is some excuse to fight them, man. That's an excuse
Yeah,
to fight them, man. That is not it's not a no security or whatever. That's an excuse a man using to fight anybody. You understand me?
anybody. Yeah. And anybody who has the resources and the capabilities that they need, that or whatever is needed to exploit them. So you put them under sanctions, you put them under different scrutinies to get to
Yeah.
break the back of the people so that the people can stand up and fight for themselves. So that is where that is. Now let's come closer to home. Let's hit CARICOM real quick. I think we
With
need to
my
hit
job.
CARICOM in the set. Yeah, man, we have to hit CARICOM 2 jobs, man, because them people not united. And I can say something that's very controversial this morning here. When CARICOM was more or less controlled by all of the labor parties in the Caribbean, they had more of a one voice or one stance kind of a thing.
So you're trying to say, so you trying to say, CARICOM better on the labor.
I'm not saying CARICOM better under Labour. I say they had a one voice.
But you know the problem I have. You know the problem I have with that is it's not CARICOM that will be better than Labour. Is Labour that will be better than CARICOM? So
True.
you understand me? And then if workers win, is workers have to be better than CARICOM? How is it that something that's supposed to be above you and control and pushing unity is now under you? That's a problem. And I get what you're saying. Yes, when everybody was on the Labour Party, when all the countries had a Labour Party leader, it was more united. But like I said in the video, if the guys didn't watch the video, it's more or less like a protection. Even if it was a protection against corruption, at least it showed more unity.
Yes.
We're not saying the unity was to better uphold the people, you know. Because I don't think they were united to uphold the people. They were always united to keep trade moving and to keep the leaders under
protection. Protection. The leaders were well insulated and protected because they all had one voice. But now that we can see the divide, we can see where Trinidad is, we can see where Guyana is, we can see where Jamaica is, we can see the divide because now it leaves the smaller islands to fend for themselves. So the islands that have the largest resources in the Caribbean are right now divided.
Question though. I know we're saying that when everybody was Labour, it looked a little bit more united. But you think if the same pressure being imputed now, back then, it would have still been as united as you think?
Yes, I think so. Because the reason why I'm saying that, because the same pressures was there back then. It was there back then. You and I just couldn't see it, but it was there back then. Because the Americans never wanted to have Cuba in the Caribbean. They never wanted to have Venezuela in the Caribbean.
Yep.
The pressures were still there. It was just not as apparent.
Let me change my wording. If Trump was there, because the pressure was there, yes. But if Trump was there back then, putting that pressure down,
he was there.
You think
he was there already?
You think it would still be as united or appear as united?
He was there already. If you listen to the former Prime Minister of St. Vincent, Ralph Gonsalves, he's telling them not to give in to the pressure. He's one that is advocating for them not to give in. So he was there. So if he was still there and the pressure was still there, he would have been saying the same statement now. So
no, you see the problem I have, Caro. The problem I have is that whilst Ralph Gonsalves may have had all kind of a case against him, whilst he may not be a morally correct person, but you cannot just disregard everything the man's saying because of that. Because that point he made to Friday, I think I would have made so much use of that advice. I would have used that to elevate.
Look, somebody said from Liat Coley, the writing of unity in the Caribbean was on the wall.
So it looked like we have to bring back. We have to bring back another airlines that bring back unity in the Caribbean.
Unity, right? but you see my problem there too. Eh? And what has the bigger powers done is first they took out the strongest Caribbean nation or strongest nation that could have withstood their pressures.
Yes.
They took them out. They took their leader out and got jailed him. Boom. Now they're gonna get the second strongest. You take out their means of making $1. Then you're going to take Jamaica, Trinidad, and Guyana. You have them already on your side, aligned to you. Those are the other three nations that have real capital. Done. What you have now is smaller islands who's dependent on CBI programs to bring in revenue, and you also cut that program out. Done. So what's going to happen? The Caribbean is going to be under pressure without being able to make no money, without being able to provide security for themselves, and have to now depend on you to give them the little allowance, the little quas that you want to give them, and leave them high and dry when it's said and done. Because in recent times, I'm going to ask the general public, what has America done for the Caribbean in a collective manner? I'm not talking about island to island separately. Collectively, what have America done? Yes, some people the other day I made a post, and some people say, "Oh, man, like me living in America." Think no. I was given an opportunity single-handedly to come to America to do something for myself. I did it. I give back to my community every time I get a chance to give back to my community. So it's not because I in America, no. You know the amount of struggle I had to go through today in America? You don't know the amount of struggle you have to be in to be living in America?
In America, yeah.
If people only knew the amount of struggles people go through here in America, hand to mouth living. If you don't pay your bill today, your ass on the roadside tomorrow morning.
On the roadside, yep.
You know, it's not a bed of roses here in America. Don't ever think so. Take that out of your mindset. That is a bed of roses. When these people come to Dominica and free up, it's not because they have money, you know. It's because they get a little break to come and take, let me go and free up my mind and drink. When you say I come to Dominica from Carnival, it's rum they drinking whole time, free up their head and then come back to the struggle and the pressure they come back to, you know. Nobody knows that, you know.
But I could also share from your point because I have a very close friend of mine that is in America studying, and the guy is funding his own education. You understand me? Mm-hmm. He's doing so well at the school, the university, suggest him on the list to be assisted by the government of Dominica. That never came true. The man told me for a whole semester he was homeless. And he had to work. So he had a gym membership. He pretend to be gymming. He go in himself, lock himself there, getting a free shower, getting a free time to sleep. And that was the man lifestyle for a whole semester. And he had to fund his own education and he never missed a payment. So I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy.
Yeah, but it's not easy, my brother. It's not easy. But, my people, let us get back to the point. CARICOM nations, CARICOM leaders, we need to come together as one. We cannot be divided and win anything. You can't be divided to win nothing. Big up to everybody that is watching the live right now. We have Jonas, we have Sophia, we have Cliff, we have Tishumbi, we have people on here. It's been a long time for us because the struggle was real for me in America for a few months, you know. So I was in the struggle. So that's why I'm so passionate to know that the struggle is real out here, yo. Because trust and believe you, me, my people. If your head not on right up here, you get put out
inside places. Yeah, man.
You get put out here, man. Trust me. So when your partner said he was homeless, I was homeless too in America. People don't know my story, you know.
People don't know the story, you know that.
People don't know my story. But yeah, it is what it is. So
one of the things too I just wanted to just highlight there is that why when the United States wants to impute itself in the CARICOM and its dealings, they never give a better deal. They never put a better deal on the table for the Caribbean countries. Why is that? I never hear. Okay, to be honest with you guys, I never hear United States come together to say they're gonna fund a bridge somewhere or build a school somewhere or to help develop a country in some capacity. I never hear that yet.
No. And the thing is, although I do not like how China is implementing some of their things in the Caribbean and in Dominica, they are at least giving us the opportunity to do something for ourselves.
Yeah.
When When China come, they give us a loan to develop whatever we're developing. We might not, they might come with stipulations on that said loan. When America come, it come empty-handed. Oh, we promise you some security. We promising you. Our promises are comfort to who?
A fool.
To a fool. Our promises are comfort to a fool. So if you keep getting promises and promises and promises, but nothing. So give up your doctors that is from Cuba that are helping you. Give them up.
Mm-hmm.
What are you getting in return? What is the return? If Dominica, who has majority of Cuban doctors and nurses working at the hospitals and in our health centers in some cases, was to give back Cuba all its doctors and nurses, what would happen to our healthcare system in Dominica? That's the question you need to ask yourself. I am not saying that it is fair what the government of Cuba is doing to take all the funds and allocate whatever they want to whoever and however they want to do it. But that is their country's means of income because they are under so much of embargoes by whoever is embargoing them. So they have to look for alternative means to create and generate income. And it's so blindsided of our people not to really see that. They cannot export much. They probably have one or two trade partners, which is probably China and Russia. Everything else is embargoed. They can't do nothing else in their country. So they export workers, which helps keep their economy and their country going. Such as in Dominica, where we should be exporting goddamn water, we're not doing it. Instead of we importing it. These people are exporting what they have to help develop their country. You as a closed-minded individual in the Caribbean and in Dominica who's not seeing what is being done would never understand this. You use whatever resources you have to your best of your ability. They have doctors and they're using it to the best of their ability. They have workers, they're using it to the best of their ability. That is how the country is able to sustain itself, by outsourcing its natural resources, which is human beings, for the development of their country. That is how I look at it as, because every country does it. Cuba is just doing it on a larger scale, but every country does it. All of our doctors are being poached by bigger countries like England, like America, like other islands that can pay them better.
Better salaries, yeah?
Better salary. So they go to where the money is. Cuba is exporting to the people who can not pay the best, but at least keep their economy going. People, look at the bigger picture and stop being closed-minded like how we are. Because you know what are causing our closed-mindedness to is this partisan foolishness. My party say this, my party say that. If you have an open mind and stop being so blindsided by political affiliations and look at a picture that is being painted in front of your face, you can know what is going on in your society. It has burned me. It has burned me to come out here. Because sometimes I don't feel so discouraged to even come out and open my mouth, because it's like, yo, why speak to some people who are not even going to listen to nothing you have to say? Why speak to people who don't even want to hear your voice, who wouldn't respect you? A prophet is never respected in his own community. Next thing, Nasio Fontaine on the project in Debwash. I saw a video yesterday of a man saying Nasio never gave back nothing to his community. He might not have given back anything back in the past, but now he's giving up his life for his community.
He's doing something.
That is what he's giving back. It was probably back then wasn't his time, but right now is his time to give back to his community, to his country. And you can't tell me that there's a what they call it, there's an injunction. There's an injunction signed by the court of Dominica for no work to continue on a site and then now you have people going there with machinery to continue work there.
Yep.
There is an
So,
injunction
okay,
signed by the court.
that brings us to ask a question, right? If there's an injunction signed by the court to put a hold on all projects, and then there's introduction of new machinery on that site, then what is going on? Because I'm sure the operators is not bigger than the law. We have a program on one of the radio stations. We have to have a program on the radio stations. What you're saying. Yeah. So obviously my trend of thinking is that the operators and the Chinese experts out here, they're not bigger than the law. And they're not gonna, want to be opposing injunctions and all them things. So then who authorized the introduction of heavy machinery on the site?
The only people that can authorize that, Fido.
Okay.
The only people who can authorize such activity is the government.
It's the government. Simple.
No other entity can do that.
Exactly.
And then now to also have police escort is the government. Who can mobilize the police? The government.
Exactly.
Who can tell you, Fido, you building my house somewhere? I can use that example. Cliff have a house to build in Kalibishi, right? Fido is the contractor. I am Cliff's neighbor. I have stone on my project I do it. Cliff tell Fido, use the stone on them that they on Richie's side over there. Who's to blame? Is it Fido or Cliff?
But Cliff tell me. What I can say, I don't know Mr. Sim, but Cliff tell me do that thing.
Exactly. So you can't blame the Chinese for going back to the site. You have to blame the government because they are the ones who've contracted these people to do the work. There's an injunction being placed by the court. The government has overridden the injunction by telling the Chinese, go back there and do the work. So what?
Look at, yeah. So what if they ship the equipment weeks before? Should they still put the equipment on the site?
No, the equipment shouldn't be on the site. The equipment shouldn't be on the site. The site has an injunction stopping all work. Till that injunction is lifted, till a better solution has been put into place, no work, no equipment. Simple as that. When you have police now coming there and moving a man from out of the street, from blocking the equipment from going onto the site, you have a problem. You have a problem for our judicial system, you have a problem with our police that are put in the system there to put themselves at risk. Because what if this thing was supposed to go viral? And you get me? What if this thing was supposed to go viral? What if people who had a mindset of no peace, was there? What would have happened then? What would have happened then? Riot squad would have come up there to shoot people now. You get me? And let me read this comment. I just see John has put up a comment. I want to read the comment before I talk about it for the people. The Chinese only do things what the government gives them. So you can only attack the government, not the Chinese. And that is the exact thing I was saying. You cannot attack the Chinese. The Chinese not doing nothing that wasn't within their scope to do. Because they are contractors and it's not the Chinese government. And people say more Chinese government. It's Railway 5, who was hired by MMC. MMC was in turn hired by the government of Dominica to do a job, which is subcontracted to Railway 5. So everybody keeps saying, the Chinese government, the Chinese have nothing to do with that. They are instructed by the government. They are instructed by MI5, by MMC to do our work.
MMC, yeah.
To do our work. I doing my work. It don't have nothing to do with me per se. It has two people that are giving me the instructions to do what I have to do to get the job done. I don't know if there's minerals. I don't know if there's anything on the site. I can't tell you. But I was given a job to do, and the time is get the material from. I gonna get it from there. It's simple as that. Simple as that. You might not like what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is truth. You know.
Imagine. I see a comment says that if it would have had a larger impact if they had blocked the road. But then that's the next thing. Who you gonna get to block the road right now?
And that's why I say, if it had people who were not of the peace mentality, because Nasio is not a man of violence, so he's there on a peace mission. But if it had people who was there of a mentality, well, I don't give a damn, ain't no truck passing there today, what would have happened then? That's the question. What would have happened?
Let's see a comment from Tibet. Let's read it now.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says machinery needs to be stored away, but I also saw a whole farm in front the place without any stopping from the demonstrators. So, however, if the project continue, we as natives should get involved as long as the pending injunction stands. That is true. That is true.
I don't get that. Repeat that again. Machinery needs to be stored away, but I also saw a whole farm in front of the place without any stopping from the demo. A whole what? I don't understand that. A whole farm in front of the place without any stopping from the demonstrators. However, if the project continues, we as natives should get involved as long as the pending injunction stands. That is true. We as natives should get involved as long as the pending injunction still stands. That is true. And that is why it brought me to do this live this morning, because I'm not there in ground to be there on the ground site, but I would have been there too. I would have been there too. And then it have a next comment that come in there, so from moving.
Yeah, it had two more, yeah.
Go ahead. I think the police went there as peacemakers, as peacekeepers. Also, since the stop order has not been shown to the public, one is not yet not sure the reasons for the stop. Okay, that is true. That is true.
But I also think the way the government is doing things is leaving room for too much chaos. I believe that they're leaving too much room for chaos. They could have a lot more damage control that is concerned.
And that is where transparency is needed. Transparency. Because you put in a stop order. That's what was there was a claim. Alleged claim there's a stop order in place. Has anybody really seen that stop order for real?
We don't see nothing, we don't hear.
Has anybody really seen that stop order for real? You get me?
Just hearing about it, yeah.
So then they claim that the mitigation measures was put in place to reduce the amount of impact that it said drilling would have had on the river. Has those things been put in place? You get me? So we are fighting a transparency battle. And it's not from the bottom, but it's from the top. Transparency is needed in the Commonwealth of Dominica by those who have the authority to give and show such transparency. So coming, the Chinese are instructed by MMC. MMC orders come from the government. The government cannot instruct the Chinese, but MMC. That is true. That is how it works. The government don't have a contract with the Chinese, you know. The government have a contract with MMC.
MMC.
So when the government tells MMC to go and make sure that the job gets done, MMC does and tell the Chinese. And the Chinese then continue their work. But moving to your point, the police was there as peacekeepers or peacemakers or peace whatever. They should not have put themselves by pulling the gentleman out of the road. If they were there as peacemakers, they have to enforce the law.
So yeah, exactly.
They have to enforce the law.
Exactly.
And allegedly, the law is that there's an injunction, no work should continue on the site.
You understand me?
The law.
You understand? But obviously, we understand that there is a breach in conversation, in communication, and information.
Yes.
We understand that. And we're going to speak because we understand. If we don't speak like we don't know. Obviously, the okay from the top was given.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the law was override. They override the law.
Overridden. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say that because guys, we need to understand. Everything have a little trace of it. Has the law been overridden before by the current government for other instances? Yes. All right. Whether it's a personal matter or not personal matter to the Prime Minister, it has been overridden already. So to think that
wait. I want to answer this one here. So to be honest, MMC doesn't need no order from government. Make research properly. I'm sorry I didn't do my research properly, Cliff, but apparently, so MMC appears to be bigger than government. But let me say it as is. Yeah. MMC is the one who advised the government, which trickles down to the subordinates. Government voice is deaf. A lot of things is beyond government call or voice. No.
Yeah.
I put my foot in my mouth because the truth came out. The truth came out right there. You get me? The truth is right there in front of your face. Apparently, MMC is bigger than the government.
Yep. But how is that possible now, boy? This is not the government. This is not the government.
Who controls the money controls the who? Who controls the money controls the what? The thing is, the last years, the police of Dominica has not been united on any issue. That is very true.
The people of Dominica has not been united on any issues. Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, so they have not been united on any issue. But let me say this: the police again have a job to fulfill to protect and serve who? Who does the police have a job to protect?
Not the people, apparently.
It's not the contractor. It's the people of Dominica. That's who they have a job to protect. It's all about the contract and the MOU that have been signed. I understand the MOU and the contract. We understand all of that. We don't know what the MOU says. We don't know what the contract says. We don't know what if the injunction, if there was ever one being placed. We have no factual piece of paper to show any of those things. We have no factual paper to show any of those things. So then again, we are left in the wilderness to wonder, was any of those things signed or to the benefit of the people of Dominica? Exactly. And I heard people saying that NASU is against the international airport project.
But he claimed that he said no.
He clarified that yesterday, but I wanted to reiterate the fact that this man, I don't think he's against the international airport. And a lot of people who think people are against the international airport, they are not. It's about transparency and the fact that we are being left in the dark on everything that takes place. Everything that takes place is we are left in the dark. Nobody knows what is going on. And you have such a big project of such big magnitude. Don't you expect a lot of people would get involved and want to know the exact details? What is this? What is that? There's people in Wesley who still haven't gotten paid for their properties.
Can you imagine that?
There's people in Wesley, every day they wake up, they wonder if it's their house next to go. The primary school was not part of the project and it is gone. You now have the children in the secondary school doing afternoon, evening classes, which makes no sense to me.
Exactly.
Why didn't you allocate a school for the children and them?
Up to now, I was about to say that. Up to now, there's not even a proposed location for the primary school. But I believe, and I can't say they no. It's not. I don't think any official has said that. But I don't suspect that Wesley Primary Schools will be joining the Kalibishi Primary School when that building is finished. I don't know that. I believe it. Wesley Primary School will join Kalibishi Primary School when that building is finished being built, because that was always the plan from day one.
But you know, I wouldn't be against that. Let me tell you why I would say that I wouldn't be against that. I believe we have a declining in population, a very much declined population. How many children in Wesley Primary School? How many children in Kalibishi Primary School? How many children in Wufatel Primary School? I think they should combine all three schools. That's my opinion. I mean, I might be wrong.
They might just do it. They might just do it. But the issue I'm having is that the communication about those things, the information not being given. Good. And that is what we need. We need to have a conversation when these things is concerned. Let the parents know that they need to have probably, let's say, instead of $100 for the child for the week, maybe $300 for the child for the week. Travel, handle, transportation fees, whatever the case may be, because we don't want everything to be just be on government. But let's have a conversation so the parents can get themselves in order and get themselves ready for those kind of changes. Your child going to write Kalibishi to stay to go to school. You might want to give them a better snack or something, a more healthier snack, a more healthier lunch, stuff like that. Because if they're in primary school, you give them a little biscuit to eat, but they're coming home for lunch, so you can give them a proper lunch. But they're not gonna come home for lunch. So all those things need to be discussed properly. You understand me?
Yeah.
But no, it's like as if we don't care, we don't ask no information when those things are concerned.
You see, and what has happened in Dominica, we have allowed our government to dictate to us. We have allowed our leaders to dictate to us and not us to our leaders. So then they can get away with whatever they want, because why? We love them so much. In Dominica, we love our leaders more than we love ourselves. You know that? No matter which party you stand with, no matter which one you stand with, we love our leaders more than we love ourselves. So, last people demanded answers from the government. But it's a long time.
We doesn't demand answers. No, they just tell us what they want to tell us, and we good.
Well,
so look at concern right there.
How they gonna get school bus? They gonna have. Remember, we have buses. We have school buses. No?
Even if, and I'm very glad that you asked him. But those questions is the questions you would have asked if
there was a sit
come to you and tell you and say, this is what we're looking at. What are your concerns? So then you would say, okay, so how are they going to get into school? What time do they have to get down to school for? And how we going to get that logistics set up? I think maybe they'll have school at 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock for the primary school. So not necessarily 7:30 for them. But all that has to come into a big conversation. And for where West is concerned, they need to figure out the bus situation. Where Woodfall is concerned, we need to figure out the bus situation. And even for Kalibishi, they still need to figure out the bus situation for that. Because I would like to think that we're not gonna have children walking on the road and susceptible to all kind of accidents. We want our children to be safe, go to school safe, come back from school safe. But those things that have been raised, I have to know. I am subjected to my own opinion right now and my suspicions, because nobody had to try to think ahead of them people. You understand me? If I was in the position of the current government, what would I do now? You understand me? So I have to think to at least have an idea.
So this question coming, but if there was a stop order on the project by the court, who disclosed that or brings it out to the public? Because till this day, I've never heard anybody come out with it, no, the opposition or the government. The government came out with it when he visited the site, the government came up with it and said that there was a stop order.
Yeah,
Till
but,
they,
yeah.
but we
Yeah,
never
that's
saw
it.
paperwork.
Yeah.
So I guess Philo, you might have to put in an application in the courthouse to see if we could get some paperwork on and if we get that stop order.
My God. Me hot water.
No, hot water is
We will try to see what we can do.
it's
If
a
we can
public
get hands on the it's supposed to be a public document.
public
We'll see if we can
information
get it.
request.
So we can present it to you guys. Look at you say homeschool my child, please.
Is that an option in
Homeschooling,
Dominica?
homeschooling is an option in Dominica. But there are certain things you have to go through. There are certain things you have to go through first to be able to homeschool your child because I also exploring that option with my child. You know?
What is that FOI? I don't know that acronym there. Give me that one then, please, sir.
Does Dominica have a FOI?
I wonder if the old school was ever considered as a potential option.
Oh, I got it. It was cool.
Old school by the Methodist Church up there. All that too. Freedom of information. Okay.
Boy.
I don't think it's a freedom of information, but if there was an order, it should be public information. So
Yeah. So then I will try to get my hands on it today.
I
I'll
don't
pass and make a
know.
request.
I don't know how that one works, but if it's public information, such as the injunction, it should be in the court as a public document to be viewed or at least getting a copy of. If it's not public, if it was never filed, then the court would never have said information. So, you know?
But you know, and then, okay, so guys, let me let you guys know. It was just my suspicion that Wesley Primary School would join Calabishi Primary School. But if we don't want our children to go to the primary school in Calabishi, we can build our own primary school. We can make our own school, you know. Can make our own school.
I don't think a community can make its own school.
Tell me why.
School is under the auspices of the government.
How many teachers Wesley have?
How many teachers?
How many principals Wesley have?
I mean,
because we can, you know, why we have to apply for that certificate. I believe we have enough human resource in West Side. We have enough certified teachers. I believe we have a couple of principals certified. We can identify. No, one of the issues to having a school is that to get a proper site for the school. If you can get a proper site for the school, what they deem is good for, it's a good learning environment, then we can move forward with that. I don't want it to be so difficult to do. It's not that difficult to do. Once we can identify a proper site, once we can have once we can talk to a couple of our human resources we have in West Side, principals, teachers, and they agree for that, then we can supposedly secure a plan and do our thing.
Yeah, you have to follow the national standard.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, for instance, the Adventist school is a private school in the community of Wesley. So, but they have to follow standards and national settings by the government of Dominica.
Yeah.
So, yes, you can build the learning institution, but then you have to now go and get accredited by the government of Dominica.
Yeah, that is us. We'll ask a grant to facilitate the accreditation and everything, you know.
But the problem I'm having again, no Fido. The problem I am going to have is if you have a private institution in the community, you know, it's gonna come with school fees. Are the parents in a position to pay school fees? Some might be, but some might not be, because some children go to school without breakfast in the mornings, as we know. Some children have to be provided with food at the schools, as we know already. So, you know, those are there's a lot of factors that's going to play into this thing.
All right.
Who's going to compensate the teachers? How are the teachers going to get paid? You know, so you know, there's a lot of things that we have to think about before we just
but it's a good thing. It's not a bad. I don't believe it's a bad idea to bring the idea out, because let's say we could never tell how far this thing can go. If you get external donors for that school, so it's a private school that people donate into the school, from overseas. We have support from overseas. We have support from here locally as well. And I believe something could happen for Wesley. I just believe that.
Yeah,
I don't want to say there's setbacks and things we have to look into on a deeper level, but it's something we could explore because at the point in time, and I can say that because there's no discussion where school is concerned or where a building is concerned for Wesley Primary School. You understand me? So then and that is what I want to do. I want to force on that if the government don't address certain situations in a timely manner, then the people themselves will mobilize themselves and they will come up with solutions themselves. Once the government is of a fear that the people could just do things on their own, the people could make things happen on their own without their help, then there's a bit of a scare factor in that regard. You understand me?
And what the government has done in Dominica is remove such availability to create a fear factor to them. Whereas everybody is now dependent on the government to eat a daily bread. When I have to go to my parliament representative to say, Pal Rep, I need $100 this week, Pal Rep. You get me? Pal Rep,
that's reality. That's reality,
I need a $30 to buy my cylinder this week, Pal Rep. I need this. I need that. I have to go to Red Clinic next week and dress in my red shirt and my red pants and my red belt and my red shoes, my red hats.
Yes.
Just
listen,
to get that.
I had a meeting. Outside the financial building, right? And I was waiting for somebody to come because we were assessing a project. And there were persons gathered for Red Clinic vibes. And this lady, pregnant, need help. And the other lady telling her, why she don't wear nothing red? If she don't wear nothing red, she don't get nothing. That's nonsense, Gassa.
Okay then. So the minds of the people have already been defeated. The people's minds have already been defeated. And in order to the other night I was watching a show. It's asked, what is a king or what is a leader? A king is somebody with a hat, or a leader is somebody that's being put in a position by the people. Without the people, who are you or what are you? You are just a normal man. Without the position that you are in, you are just a normal man. And unless we, the people, recognize that our leaders are normal men just like us, they breathe air, they drink water, they eat food just like us, we will never go nowhere. Because we elevate them like gods and think they can do no wrong. They have no fault. It's them or nobody else. So we are stuck and left in the position where we are today. The other day, when I want to draw back on something there. When CARICOM had their meeting, the Prime Minister of Dominica made a statement, which I liked. Now, much as he does say I was like, but that one I liked it. He said he's not here for Dominica's self-interest. If you understand that, you can understand where his mindset, I think, was going. For Dominica's self-interest, he's not there for that. He's there for the collective's interest. And some people jumped and said, oh, he should have... No.
That wasn't the place for that.
That was not the place or the time for that.
Yep.
You have to understand these things, because the Secretary of State from the United States came to the CARICOM meeting not on CARICOM's interest on Dominica interest. He come to divide them, to conquer them.
Yep.
So he came in the general meeting, yes, and then he pulled each one of them in a room and had communications with them and gave them different incentives to say, well, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this for your specific island. When Antigua and Dominica stood up and said, well, we not participating in your foolishness. What happened? You can only get 30-day visas now. It's a divide and rule mentality that is being taken on against us in the Caribbean. And if us in the Caribbean don't understand that, us in the Caribbean will fall down. because
Yeah,
each one of us have to help develop each of us. Each one of us have resources that each one of us need. And watch out, I gotta use that as an example. If we were smart, if our leaders were smart in the Caribbean, the other day I made a video and I said, Jamaica have bauxite, Trinidad have oil refineries, Guyana have oil refineries. We can, even though it's not plentiful, but we could use those resources and market ourselves as a CARICOM Caribbean collective and make a CARICOM Caribbean community. Dominica have water. We can provide water to majority of all the Caribbean and CARICOM islands. We could get oil from Trinidad with refined oil, but we can supply our own Caribbean nations. We could get bauxite, where we could create our own aluminum.
Yes.
To market to the world. Because when you sell the raw materials, you get less price, less money. But when you sell the finished product, you get more money. You get me?
Yeah.
So if we came at this with a strategy of utilizing all of our resources as small island nations and stop the divide, I big, I have this, and I big, I have that, and I big, and I can do this, we could flood the market and make ourselves a more prosperous set of people, because we using our resources. Look, I've been hearing now that Dominica is going to be supplying water to St. Lucia, which is a good for Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good for Dominica. But why weren't we doing that all along? Look, Barbados need water,
Mm-hmm.
Angola need water. Why aren't we using our natural resources
to generate income,
to generate revenue, to take us out this what is the word? The word fading from my mouth there right now. To take away the dependency that we have on the CBI program.
Yeah.
We have so many natural resources in Dominica. The crab mentality in the Caribbean has been used to oppose oppress from ever since. And that is true. It's not just the Caribbean. It's black people in general. It's black people in general. The crab mentality. If you're doing better than me, I gonna pull your ass back down so that you can't do better than me. So you're the dung in the hole with me.
Yeah.
Instead of us being the helping the elevator to elevate one another.
Look at me an example of that. The Booyah music story. Booyah music story. Dominica had a high rating for Carnival. Booyah music was just the thing for the season. Trinidad people are getting on, and the story Booyah, all kind of nonsense, and then water, all kind of nonsense. Where that coming from? You understand me? It's music, music now.
It's music. And where did the music originate from? From our ancestors, from the goddamn motherland. That is where the music come from. So if we have to then go back and say, oh, you take my music, go back and say, well, Africa, all the music come from. All of us, the music come from Africa. So let us not create a divide for music. Let us not create a divide for
trade.
For trade. But I run my mouth for an hour with all of them people there, so this morning.
Yeah, myself there. So I just watching it. I'm very sharp because I have to make a running rules with them. So I don't know, man.
Give your closing remarks, people.
I don't know.
And let the people and them ponder on these things, man. Go ahead with your closing video.
But I just my closing remarks. I don't even know how to take it because we can handle so many topics there. But one of the things, again, I want this as a topic we'll touch on. I really want to touch on it because it's one of the most important, I believe. As far as we come talking about our political leaders being responsible and being transparent with us, our people being politically responsible themselves and not being partisan. One of the most important things I want to look up and I want to look on is that how we take care of the youth. Because for the past couple of weeks, we've been just hearing a set of sexual assault and molestation cases where the youth is concerned. And that is, to me, that is one of the most disturbing of all, because I mean, out of nowhere, we're having so many cases, especially the ones with where religious leaders are involved in. If we continue in that, vein, then how are we going to move forward as a nation? That is one of the most important things I think we need to talk about as a people. Yeah, we're politically, we are a little bit, we need help politically, but I think we need help where the roots is concerned, where our children is concerned. Because if our children decide that they don't want nothing to Dominica, again, Dominica is completely and totally finished. If our children decided they want to take on the responsibilities of our failures, then Dominica is totally finished. How can our children take care or take on the mantle from Dominica if they are hurt? You understand me?
That they
So
went so much
I
trauma.
really want to speak against that where that is concerned, where I don't know if older men cannot control themselves. I really believe that the law should be changed. The minor should be protected, but the offender should be released. The offender should be made public upon evidence and stuff like that. I believe that should be happening. I believe we should have an offenders list, because that to me was the most disturbing. I mean, of all the activities going on, that was the most disturbing for me, where all those children had sexual molestation cases ongoing. We can't continue like that anymore. You know, understand me? We can't. There's too many. There's too many things for that to be your weakness. You understand me? If that is your weakness, and I urge you as a man, if that is your weakness, to save yourself, please seek help now. You understand me? Because police may not get to you before someone just get to you. We have to protect our children. We have to protect our youth. If we don't decide to protect our children now, then the future of Dominica is done as we know it. Understand me? Yeah, that is what I really want to bring out there as a message, is that we need to protect our children at all costs. If you know something is going on wrong, if you know your neighbor is doing the wrong things, you need to speak up. You need to call child protection services. We need to make a greater stride in terms of protecting our children. I understand that parents may make the wrong decisions because of financial situations and wrong priorities, and it's not an excuse to keep your mouth silent. If you see the mother doing the wrong thing, report that mother. You understand me? Because when they damage that child has to go through so many help and may not even recover mentally from those kind of damages. So guys, that just wanted to bring that message across somehow today, because that has been one of the most taxing on me when it comes to developing stories in Dominica. We cannot continue to operate like that. As men, we have to do better. You understand me? I could never do that, because, I mean, after all, but to hear older men and big men doing those things, I mean, we have to do better than that. We have to do better than that. Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything else to say, because Fido hit the nail on the head. It calls for our community to raise our children. And if the community leaders and the community people are broken, our community will fail. My people, let us keep fighting that good fight. Let us live for our children and not live for our children. Let us live for our children and not leave them out in the dust. Protect the young ones. Protect their minds. Protect our future. Protect them at all costs. Like Fido said, if you see something happening, say something. That is the call we're going to put out today on Cardos Media. If you see something happening in our community against our young children, say something. Say something. Because our future going down the drain is no future at all. Yeah. You can have all the riches in the world you want, but without our children being our future, we have no future at all. So I'm calling for all the people who watch Cardos Media to come out and say, yo, we stand against child abuse. We stand against abuse of children. We stand against the molestation of our youths, the destruction of our future. We stand against it. We need that in our communities. We need these voices in our communities. Stand against the abuse of our children. Let's stand against the abuse of our children. And to also reiterate something else too. Health care in our self-health in Dominican needs to be taken care of, because there's too many young people who are dying these days because of lack of health, proper taking care of themselves. When was the last time you went to the doctor and got a checkup? When was the last time you went to the doctor and asked them, is my blood sugar high? When was the last time you exercised or took a walk for a mile? When was the last time you did that? My people, we have a lot to give thanks to God for, but we also have a lot to look forward for and taking care of ourselves. Yeah. Stop neglecting your health. Stop neglecting our future. Our future is our children and our health. We need to take better care of it. That is my piece for the day. I thank you guys for tuning into Carlos Media, and we will not take this long again to come back on the air. But it was a tough and struggling time for everybody, so we had to abstain.
Tough it out. We had to tough it out, man.
But we are back, and we're back in full effect. So stay strong and stay blessed, and look out for Carlos Media once again. Have a blessed and productive day, and one love. Love your children, love your community, and love your health. Mentally, physically, emotionally. Love yourself. Be blessed.
Yeah.
Well, this is Carlos Media, and yeah, don't blame the messenger. Yeah.